I'm Dave Kersten. I'm the president of Waterloo Gin Company. And as president, we're a pretty small operation. And so day to day, I help oversee the distillation, production, supplier management, but also spend some time out in the field with sales and bartenders on-prem and off-prem to help build the brand. So spent about 35 years in large multinationals, leading global marketing with CMO for regions of Dell Computer, for Honeywell, and for Emerson. So most of my experience comes in launching products, building new products, and extending brands. So to build a great brand, you have to fundamentally start with a great product, right? And I think with Waterloo, we've been really fortunate because from being the first gin distilled in Texas, it's been quality focused day one. They experimented with about 50 different recipes and botanical blends to get to the right one, which ended up being number 9. And that quality has been unchanged and uncompromised since the beginning of the brand. In addition to great quality, we're lucky to have a really unique origin story with Waterloo too, with water being the original capital for the state of Texas. It gives us a really specific and special sense of place. And with all of our botanicals being from Texas, we have the authenticity, the first gin distilled in Texas, and unmatched quality in our brand. So we're pretty fortunate. Yeah, we're really excited about the vision for Waterloo. When we acquired the brand about 1.5 years ago, we knew it had such a special place for Central Texas and for Texas broadly as the first gin here. And we just understood the potential, right, for a great American-style gin to get beyond Texas and nationally. There hadn't been a lot of innovation in the gin category, especially amongst American style gins, more citrus, more floral forward. And so when we had the opportunity to acquire Waterloo, our vision was to really take this, win at home first in Texas, but then really make it the leading national American style gin. Yeah, American style is really a little bit of a change, right? Most people grow up in their orientation with the gin category as traditional London dry gin. So every gin has to be over 51% juniper, right, to be a gin. That's sort of table stakes. But traditional London dries lean really heavy in the juniper, so it gives more of that pine, a really strong punch of juniper in the flavor. With the American style, we lean more into the citrus in botanicals. So for us, it's the lavender, it's the lemon zest, the grapefruit zest, coriander, anise. So the juniper's there, but it's toned down a little bit. So we just think it makes it a beautiful spirit and a base for really creative mixed drinks. The feedback on the product's been fantastic. So the benchmark, I guess, for us is while we had a lot of hearts and minds for Texas bartenders, our brand's been around for a decade or so. As we've been starting to expand into different states and even really heavy bourbon states, when we launched in Kentucky, people resonated with the innovation of the idea of a barrel-aged gin. And so for heavy bourbon drinkers, right, it brought them into the gin category. But even the base number 9 gin with the unique palate of number 9 and the citrus and lavender forward spirit, it's changed a lot of people's minds. So it's been received really well. Yeah, so we're really excited about the launch of the Prickly Pear Gin. We think we already had a really unique portfolio with our number 9 in the barrel age with a true 2+ year barrel aged gin. And so to add the Prickly Pear into that family of gins, we think gives us a really unique portfolio to hit whatever palate and whatever style that someone is looking to mix a cocktail with. So from traditional Negroni or gin and tonic with the number 9 to using the barrel-aged gin for a Manhattan, a old-fashioned, anywhere you used to live in that bourbon whiskey world, we had those places pretty covered. But with the Prickly Pear now, it gives a even more unique profile, not just to make beautiful cocktails, but to get more creative. Yeah, I think education in the gin category is really, really important. Obviously, it's been around and is a little bit smaller category than many other spirits are today. And there's a bit of a old my dad's gin kind of legacy, right, in the space. And so I think there's a lot of education, and today's cocktail consumers, I think, are willing to experiment and try new things. And so, but it takes education, right? So to get people to understand American-style gin versus traditional London-style gin, and to get people to open their minds, right, to what the spirit tastes like. In creative things we're doing with barrel-aged gin, that takes education too, right? An aged gin isn't that common. while there's a couple on the market today that are cask rested, barrel rested, there's very few that are a full 2+ year, first American oak char 3 aged gin that plays more like a bourbon. So to get people to move into the category and experiment that way, it takes education. And then anytime you introduce new botanicals like prickly pear, right, really unique to Texas and the Southwest, but increasingly a popular flavor profile, it takes a little bit of work to get people to try it. Yeah, we're super excited about the partnership with SpeedRailz, right? At the end of the day, we think gin is the mixologist's best platform. The botanicals give you such a great spirit to play with, and SpeedRailz to us, tapping into that mixology bar community, is the most important for us to really do that education and to really bring our brand forward, right? We want to lead with being on-prem in the top bars and restaurants, working with the best mixologists to be creative with our spirit and, execute the classics, but also take us into new places that we haven't thought of it being used before. And so working with that community is a huge priority, and we're super excited about it for this year. Yeah, so right now, when we acquired the brand, Waterloo is only available fundamentally in Texas. And in our first 6 months now, we've expanded. We'll exit 2025 in 14 different states. And by the end of 2026, we'll be in over 30 states. And so growing pretty quickly. The reception with the market's been terrific. Here in Texas, it's available in all the places you expect to find it. Total Wine, Specs, Twin Liquor, being the biggest ones, and many of the small family-owned retailers as well.